next demo, we have something that is just super appropriate for the theme of Comic-Con. Joining me on stage here is Jens Andersen, Creative Director of Sony Online Entertainment. Jens, you are here to talk about DC Universe Online.
That's right. It's Comic-Con this year, and we're unveiling some really cool stuff. We have our new downloadable pack called Fight for the Light. By the title, I guess you can guess it's about Green Lantern, and we're adding light powers to the game, which is awesome. People have been clamoring for those since launch.
And so you've got a lot of people clamored for to get their hands on those Green Lantern powers, and right now we're seeing some of these, brought by some B-roll to show, give people a taste of the light powers. So, lay it out for us here. What are we seeing? Sure. What are we catching glimpses of?
So what you're seeing here is the new light combat. You can see that the characters are making constructs. Basically, the power rings that Green Lantern and Sinestro use are able to create hard light kind of hologram constructs, they're called. Mm-hmm. The Green Lanterns wield the green light of will, and the Sinestro Corps wields the yellow light of fear. Players are going to be able to choose which one they want to play by choosing hero or villain. So if you're a hero, you're going to be like a Green Lantern. If you're a villain, you're going to be like the Sinestro Corps. And as you can see in the footage, you're making constructs. So in our game, you choose a fighting style when you make your character, like bow or dual pistol or martial arts or something like that, right? You pair that up with a superpower, like light or sorcery. When you choose the light power, they actually have constructs that you can manifest, like a light chainsaw, which becomes a new fighting style for you. So while you might be normally a bow guy, you can activate that light chainsaw construct, and all of a sudden you've got it in your hands, and you've got a whole new set of combos at your disposal to master. And really cool players, there's more, it's very cool. Really skilled players with the light powers will then even be able to chain constructs together in combos without having to access them on their power bar. So it's really imaginative, and the combinatorial kind of stuff is very cool.
So you're not just adding, a couple new moves, you're adding this whole matrix of new possibilities. Really.
Absolutely. Obviously the power rings can manifest anything that the players can imagine, or that the ring wielders can imagine. We can't quite do that in video games yet. Oh man, I wish we could, but we're not quite there yet. So what we did was we wanted to capture that ability for players to be creative, right? So the rings that players get have a set number of constructs in them, but we allow you to be very creative and imaginative in how you flow into and out of them, how you combine them together. It has really deep tactics, and we're super excited about this because it plays very differently than any other kind of combat in our game. So it has a lot of potential for future powers and expansion of existing powers as well.
Because, we're seeing a bunch of constructs in this video here. You mentioned the chainsaw, I saw a jet bomber, I saw some miniguns.
There's a really cool one there. One of the powers you can get is actually a Black Hawk helicopter will come down and start strafing the entire area in front of you and laying waste to your enemies. It's very, very cool.
Why get a sledgehammer when you could have a Black Hawk?
You can make a Black Hawk, exactly.
So a lot. You guys are clearly like really running with the light construct idea. That's really interesting. Now, are there going to be new areas that people can take these powers into? And
absolutely. First of all, you'll get a respec token if you've got a level 30 character you want to switch over to light. You'll be able to do that when you buy the download pack.
Cool.
But I recommend starting your character from scratch and really going on that hero or villain's journey with the new light powers. So you can use those powers and level up throughout the old content. When you get to the end game, or if you're already there, you're going to find that there's 3 new alerts in the game. Alerts are 4-player combat alerts that you can go into. You're going to be going to Star Labs, and you're going to find out what is behind the storyline of the Green Lanterns and the Sinestro Corps at launch. They came to Earth, their rings are failing, they don't know why. Well, players are going to go into Star Labs and basically restore the emotional spectrum that Brainiac has been siphoning out of it, making these logic lanterns and things like that. So really neat story there. Players are then going to be transported to Coast City, which is Hal Jordan's hometown. You're going to go to Ferris Aircraft, and basically as the players sort of save the emotional spectrum, there was a huge backlash, and now the Green Lantern Corps, the Sinestro Corps, and we're introducing a brand new corps. You've probably seen some red lanterns in that video up there.
I did, yeah.
So Atrocitus and his boys are going to be showing up now, and they're going to be ripping apart Coast City at Ferris Aircraft, and you're going to need to go in there and save the day. And then the best part, you'll see some right here with Guy Gardner there, you saw Oa. We're actually sending you to the science cells. The Green Lanterns are actually galactic police force. So what do they do with all the people that they capture? Well, they got to put them somewhere, and they created this prison complex on Oa called the Science Cells. And there's basically a prison riot going on there. People are escaping, and you have to go in and actually put them back in their cells. And you're going to be able to take on Krona himself. Krona is actually this ancient guardian who's the guy who made the power rings in the first place, and he was a bad boy. So the other guardians locked him in the Science Cells. He's going to pop out with his power gauntlet and the power pack, that prototype that led to the rings in the first place. You're going to have to take that guy on, which is really cool.
So, I mean, you're not just, when you say Science Cells, this is a galactic prison full of the big bads.
Absolutely.
And that, I mean, in terms of from a combat perspective, that sounds like the kind of guys I want to tangle with.
Yeah, you're gonna actually Alyssa Drac from the Sinestro Corps. Sinestro Corps is locked up in there. You're gonna fight her. There's a Red Lantern called Vice. There's Quardians coming out of there. We've got Manhunters, Sinestro Corps, Green. They're all in there.
So you guys are really just bringing the whole Green Lantern universe into DC Universe.
That's what we're trying to do. We're certainly starting. With this download pack called Fight for the Light. You know, it's got a great introduction. At launch, we were focusing mostly on Earth and the Moon, so near Earth orbit, I suppose. Now with Oa, we're actually getting our first step out into the galaxy at large, which is really awesome because it gives us some opportunity with all these new Green Lanterns, reservists in the game, to call them up and go out into the galaxy at large in all kinds of new locations.
And you mentioned that's the first step out into the galaxy at large?
That's right. That's right. I mean, what we did was, normally with an MMO, you're going to wait 12 to 18 months for an expansion to come out. You're going to pay 30 to 40 bucks for it, and you wait a long time to get that content. With us, we wanted to do something much more smaller scope at more frequent intervals, and our price point reflects that. So while this is, we get the 3 alerts, the duo, the light powers, and all that, you're actually going to see some more galactic stuff in the future, possibly in live with some of our updates that we do.
Very cool. Now, you guys have been online for many months now, and you've been rocking updates. Are there any updates to come that you want to sort of preview for folks as well?
Yeah, absolutely. We do have the expansions like this download pack, Fight for the Light, costs $10, but for free with your subscription, you're actually going to be getting the live updates that we have too. And in the live update right now, update 4, we have Fortress of Solitude coming your way. It's the first Fortress of Solitude raid.
Excellent.
It's a 3-part series in the raids. We'll be introducing each one with consecutive updates. It's really cool. You're going to team up with Superman and Lex Luthor. You're going to fight your way through some Brainiac forces, and you actually take on Crypto at the end. So we have the Super Dog making an appearance, which is awesome.
You guys are bringing in all sorts of heavy hitters, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. And players will be able to collect all kinds of new Kryptonian Sunstone gear. We have one for each class: tank, healer, controller, DPS. They look awesome. So we're really excited about the update as well.
Excellent, Jens. Well, speaking of gear, you guys have brought by some tribute giveaways here.
Absolutely.
So let's show these off real quick.
We got some capes that we're giving away here, some DC Universe Online capes.
Nice and light, you're gonna fill up behind you while you're speeding along. Yep.
And we'll also give away one of these Emerald Warrior pins here, which is pretty cool. So we're gonna do a little trivia question here, and if you can get the trivia question, you'll have some information on where to do that. So here's the question, okay? So we're introducing a brand new Lantern Corps into the DC Universe Online. It's the Red Lanterns, led by Atrocitus, right? So, can you tell us what sector Atrocitus comes from?
You send that answer to us send your emailed answer to community@gamespot.com, and we'll send you a cape and a pin so you can, sport the DC Universe look.
You can run around the house.
Actually make you fly. We're not going to condone any sort of, but leaping onto couches, that sort of thing. It's perfect for that. Awesome, Jens. Again, that's community@gamespot.com. Send us the answer to that question. The question one more time is?
The question is, what sector does Atrocitus come from?
Excellent. Jens, thank you so much for coming by, giving us a taste.
Fight for the Light.
Of Fight for the Light DLC, and that's coming your way later this year, folks, in just a few short months.
Later this summer.
This summer.
Yeah.
There you go.